Hello, greetings, and thanks for being here today. As I mentioned, we're going to go through some of the attributes of God. So if that's a topic you're interested in, thanks again for joining with me. In fact, if it's your first time here, you've joined at a great time. We're just starting this series on the attributes of the Holy One. If you're on a spiritual path, a devotional path, I think you'll enjoy these videos. So the first topic we're going to talk about is that God is omnipresent. That's O-M-N-I is the prefix. Present is the word. Omni is a prefix that's joined with other words in when we're talking about our belief in God. Omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent are the big three. So the word omni means all. Well, let me give you a few definitions. It means just all, or of all places, or in all ways or places. And it can also indicate when something encompasses everything within a given scope. And we're going to see how all of these apply to divinity. When we're talking about God, what does omnipresent mean? Well, it means that God, Spirit, the Divine One, is present in every time and every space, everywhere, all places, all spaces, all time. In fact, there's no place that you can go where God's presence is not available. And there's no time in your life when His presence is not available to you. For example, some people think that there are good places and bad places, that you could find the presence of God in a church, but you couldn't find God at a bar, or that if you were having an anniversary party or a birthday party for your children, God would be there. If it was a group of teens having a keg party, God could not be there. And that's false. We're going to see right in the scripture that no matter where we go, God is there. And we saw that one of the things the Pharisees, Jesus' enemies, complained about was that He hung around with the wrong people. He was in the wrong place, and that if he was a godly man, he wouldn't have kept company with tax collectors and sinners, as they were called. And he did. The representative of God, Jesus the Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, was the friend of sinners and the friend of tax collectors. He even had a former tax collector as one of his apostles. So you can just forget the idea that there's certain buildings where you can find God and other buildings where you can't, because the belief is God is omnipresent in all places. That's all ways and places. And he is also available at all times in all of these places. So you might remember a time in your life that maybe you'd rather forget. Maybe a time in your life where you were participating in a lifestyle that you would no longer participate in, or a time when you had a lot of troubles in your life, or a time when you were in danger of some kind. In all of those times, God is with you, no matter where you are or what time it is in your life or what time of the day or night it is. God is there. If you've ever tried to call your insurance company or maybe your doctor's office, you get a recording that says, please call during office hours, usually Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or something along those lines. Well, you don't have that problem with God. God is available 24/7 at all times and in all places. That's what omnipresent means. Let me give you a scripture. It's the beginning of Psalm 139. And it says, Lord, starting right at the beginning, Lord, you have probed me, you know me, you know when I sit and stand, you understand my thoughts from afar, my travels and my rest you mark, and all my ways, with all my ways you are familiar. Even before a word is on my tongue, Lord, you know it all. Behind and before you encircle me and rest your hand upon me. Such knowledge is beyond me, far too lofty for me to reach. So here you have a description of God in the psalmist's life. This is presented as a psalm of David, that David is saying this, that anytime, wherever David is, before he says something, before he sits, before he stands, when he's standing and sitting, when he's thinking, no matter what he's doing, God is aware. God is with him. And then it goes on to say, this is wonderful. Where can I hide from your spirit? From your presence, where can I flee? If I ascend to the heavens, you are there. If I lie down in Sheol, you are there too. If I fly with the wings of dawn and a light beyond the sea, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. And if I say, surely darkness shall hide me, and night shall be my light. Darkness is not dark for you, and night shines as the day. Darkness and light are but one. Whether it's light or dark, morning or evening, wherever one is, the presence of God is there. And this says, where can I hide from your spirit? It's almost as though the thought is, if I don't want to be in the presence of God, where can I go? And the answer is, there is no place where you are not in the presence of God. We look at it from the point of view that we are seeking the presence of God. We want to, as much as possible, experience God's presence in our life. So we're happy for this scripture that tells us anytime, any place. A couple of weeks ago, I had been at an appointment, and while the appointment was going on, I could hear outside thunder. I knew that there was an electric storm, had been forecast, bad storms, and sounded like one was on the way. And it was a long trip for me to go home from this appointment, about an hour, a little over an hour's driving to home. And just as the appointment ended and I went outside, a few raindrops were coming down. So I called home. I let them know that I was just starting out and that it was beginning to rain here. And I'd be there as soon as I could, not to worry. And then I started off, and I hadn't gone a mile when a horrendous downpour started. It's what they call sheets of water coming down. It was absolutely impossible to see, to continue driving. You just could not see in front of the car to keep going. And you couldn't see if there were other cars either. I'm sure they were in the same predicament as I was. And there was flashes of lightning and thunder all around, and wind, horrendous wind. I think it's probably the worst storm I'd ever been outside in. But I glanced to the side of the road, and there was a place where I could pull over. It was in front of an antique store, and they had a little driveway there, and it was kind of secluded, so I pulled off under a tree, and I sat there waiting for this storm to end. It was getting worse and worse, and before very long, because I had gone down into this driveway, water was coming off of the road just like a river. And so I pulled my car a little farther forward so that it was going back up the incline. I didn't want to be one of these cars that you're sitting in and the car is completely flooded. And so I'm sitting under this tree. This rain is coming down horrendously. And every once in a while there'd be a big clunk where something fell off of this tree and would hit my car. And the point of my story is that ordinarily I would have been frightened, but I was not frightened at all. I felt really secure. I felt as though God was in the car taking care of me. And I wasn't worried about getting home. I wasn't worried about anything. I was just waiting for the storm to stop. And those kind of storms usually don't last very long, and it did. It stopped within a few minutes, and I was able to drive almost the whole rest of the way home without being in a storm. Just before I got to my home, a couple miles away, I drove into another storm, but it was nowhere near as bad as the first one. And I actually had a pretty pleasant ride in the sunshine most of the way home. So that's just an example from my own life where the presence of God was with me, and in our situations, the presence of God is always available to us, no matter the time or the place. And we give great thanks for that as children of God and as spiritual travelers on the devotional spiritual path. I hope you can join with me again next time. We're going to look at another attribute of God. And at the end of this video is a moment with nature to give thanks and for something wonderful in our lives and for the presence of God. I'll see you soon.